Yo, 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 what's up, all you beautiful people?
What's going on, brother, man? How are you?
Man, I'm living the dream, bro. Cephas, living the dream. How are you? How are you, Andre?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, man. We're glad to have you. All right, so our show today, we're going to have an absolute ball. Well, I mean, I shouldn't even have to say that. Y'all know we always have a ball here. Today we got Andre on and one of his teammates from Verified Carrier going to do a little sweet demo for us. Tell us everything that they're doing out there to help with this fraud and scam stuff that is just rampant in our industry. Got a cool little news story for you. Driver being saved from something that could have cost them their life. But before we get into that, we're going to give our love to our sponsors. Lane Runner, brand new lane rate platform out there. You need real-time data. You need accurate rates from people moving freight right now as we speak in the industry. LaneRunner.com. Get that free trial. Tell them you heard about it in the Logistics Lounge.
Welcome to the future of trucking with Lane Runner. Up-to-the-minute, trustworthy spot market freight rates. Experience real-time, full truckload spot market rates at your fingertips. Stay ahead with our advanced rate alert system, ensuring you never miss a market move. Gain insights with our detailed high and low paying lane reports. Make informed decisions with comprehensive market reports tailored for your business needs. Lane Runner, accurate, real-time spot market freight rates at your fingertips. Efficiency, reliability, and profitability all in one platform. Join Lane Runner today and take your logistics to the next level. Spot market, spot on.
Man, you want to know what else is spot on? The dang service that you get over there at Shoreline Capital. Hey, you done some business, you got an invoice, you know you're not going to get paid 30, 60, 90, 100, hey, whatever the terms are. You're like, look, I need my paper right now. Send it on over to Shoreline Capital, Clinton, his team. They're going to get you funded. They're going to do you right. You're going to have your money, be able to continue doing business. All right, there we go. And we're going to, sorry, let me pull that down. I meant to have it up before everything started, but Andre had me all confused with all these windows down here that he had. And I seriously thought one of your windows was already my window. I was about to pull up, and I was like, wait, neither one of those are mine. Shit. All right, so going to roll into the news. Okay. Oh, let me scroll up. Sorry, so you can see it right here. All right. Hey, this right here, I just wanted to highlight this one because, man, as someone who honestly has lost most hope with humanity, things like this right here, like put a smile on my face. Says, hey, there's still good people out there that are willing to help others out, you know, regardless of what the fate may be for them. So, a four-wheeler rescued a box truck driver from frigid waters in a Minnesota river earlier this week. The box truck driver was headed north on Highway 101 when they began to lose traction and slide. Upon losing control, the driver hit a guardrail, a sign, and then they went into the other guardrail on the opposite side of the road before careening down the embankment and into the river. A four-wheeler was driving behind him. A gentleman by the name of Christopher Kirk watched the whole thing unfold. As soon as he saw the driver go off the side of the road into the river, picked up his phone, called 911, pulled over, jumped out of his car without regarding his own safety into half-frozen water. And I mean, literally, I mean, you can see right here. I mean, maybe the thing was completely frozen and the box truck just broke it all up. But jumped into there, jumped on the top of the box truck, was able to open the door, and he pulled the driver out and help them get to the bank there. And there's nothing in the article about how the driver's doing, whether they were taken to the hospital. I'm pretty confident that they were. Really no other information than what I just said. Although I just want to say the very last sentence that I think is kind of funny, and that closing sentence is, "It is unclear what led to the accident," said authorities. I'm just guessing it's probably the damn snow and ice, that's been caking the road for the past week and a half. I mean, just a shot in the dark there, but
That's impossible. That's impossible.
That's what I would say, but I'm not a meteorologist, so
yeah, a meteor. Like, dude, I wonder. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. But all right, so we're gonna get right into it, but I'm gonna let Hunter introduce. Hey, how do you say your last name, Andre?
Drotenko.
That's what I thought it was. But
Andrey Drotenko.
Phonetic. I mean,
it could have been. For all I know, it could have been Johnson, bro. You know how people spell things these days. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking about throwing an X and a few H's in there just to really trip people up. And be like, no, Stevenson. We just spell it the Eastern European way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, without further notice, guys, this is Andre with Verified Carrier. He's been a speaker at the Freight Waves conference. He's been to the Broker Carrier Summit, and what they're doing over there is the Lord's work in trucking. So without further ado, and the floor is yours, my friends.
Well, all right. Yep. So I handle our strategic relations, among other things, at Verified Carrier. What do we do? Who are we? We are a platform that was born out of several professionals coming together who have experience in freight, seeing the issues that happen, seeing all the scams, people having been part of scams where they got affected, where they had to pay out multiple carriers. Where at the end of the day, even when you track somebody down, all somebody has to do is say, hey, my ID got stolen. I have no idea about that. And whoop, absolves them of everything. So complete lack of accountability. The FMCSA is doing what they can, I hear, but their hands are tied. They're not going to get any more resources. We understand. So the industry needs to move forward. We have a lot of people who are counting on freight moving. That's how food gets on our table. You have a lot of hardworking people that are getting scammed left and right. Double brokering is $800 million a year. Cargo theft is 60 billion plus, depending who you talk to. They're just taking advantage of all these loopholes and how easy it is to get an MC number. So what do we want to do about it? We want to create accountability and we want to create transparency. We want people to know who they're actually working with. So the FMCSA allows you to self-declare a lot of information that will 99.999% chance never get checked. Unless there's, the off audit here or there. But most of the time, they still won't come out and check all the trucks and make you file a form. So having worked as a safety director, doing safety compliance, I know how easy it is for me to go file an MCS 150, and I could put any number I want in there, and nobody will ever check. So that's not right. That's not the way that it's supposed to be. And at best, somebody's inflating numbers. Then they might be skimming, double brokering, or there might be people who literally buy MCs or steal identities, open up things just so they could nurture them and go and just stiff company after company for thousands of dollars. And then all they do is just unplug the phones, shut it off. It takes 5 minutes to set up a website. That thing's gone, and it's like they never existed. So how do we do it? We have a platform where instead of just relying on this public information that you could Google through the FMCSA, we actually want people to vet carriers, to work with us and be able to have carriers provide us information. Once we get this information, we have 8 points of verification where we vet them through third party after third party after third party so that we can give you, whether you're a broker, a factoring company, insurance company, a better, more accurate, complete picture of who this carrier is compared to who they claim to be. And this information is, you can fudge 1-2 steps, but it's hard to fudge all 8. And so Really, I'd love to just show a demo of what it is. I was really glad to be able to participate in Freight Waves and do a rapid fire demo there and show what we're about. We don't believe in just hiding this information or just being like, hey, I'm going to talk about how double brokering works, but don't tell the other guys because the double brokers might find out. The double brokers are years ahead of you. So what we're doing is we want to find the most rock solid way to leverage technology to catch the majority of bad guys. And then we have, a funnel of we're working on features to release to stay on top of things as things change. They're getting sophisticated, and this is why I think the 8 points of verification are extremely needed, and this needs to be the industry standard. So I guess just without further ado, if it's all right with you, jump into the demo. I got Dimitri here, who's our lead developer. So he'll pop up for a little bit here. But basically the idea is, all right, you're serious about vetting. You're serious about your due diligence. A lot of rock solid companies are still suffering from this because the scammers found out how to jump through all the right hoops and tick all the right boxes to be able to get past their radar. So what we do here is, hey, we partnered with a verified carrier. I'd love for you to haul my load. That's a great rate. I'm just going to shoot out this link. If you could just get vetted, as soon as this comes back, we'll go ahead and shoot you a rate con. They get this, put in their MC number. We'll start with some FMCSA data. So they could just go ahead and confirm that that's their company. So carrier will take a look here. Yep, that's me. That's that, safer portal info, but that's where that public data stops. Now, if you are at this company, we need you to go ahead and upload your driver's license, or another piece of government issued ID. We're going to check that it's legitimate. So we use Persona. I think it does like a 39-point verification just to make sure that it's legit, that it's active, all that jazz. From there, now we want to make sure that the person who just uploaded this government issued ID is the same person that's doing this process. So now we're going to go ahead and do a verification of our settings so that the camera can get access to facial recognition.
There we go.
All right. So now Dimitri went ahead, uploaded his government issued ID. He got the check there on the first platform. Second platform, different third party. Now is going to do the facial recognition. Let's see here. So it's making him do multi-factor authentication before he's allowed to do this.
And y'all do not be judging any of this. We're doing this live time off the rip.
Hey, I say judge it, and I say, this is what it's going to look like when you're working. There's things that you're working through. This is another layer of protection here because for some reason his IP or switch networks.
That's a great point, man.
Yeah, so it's doing what it's supposed to. The whole thing is we're trying to weed out the bad guys, and so we're catching when people are logging in from different countries. We're checking when they're trying to spoof this. So he went and got a code sent to his phone. His phone has to be tied later to the MC number that was set up, Secretary of State filing, then the bank information, then insurance. All of it has to be connected. So he did the alternate step instead of the Face ID. So the point is just to create a closed loop and create that person's identity in a rock solid way that's verified through multiple layers. Here,
so not any Joe Schmo that looks like a guy on an ID can just get in here.
Correct. We've had people try to spoof it and show pictures. You had 3 guys holding a photograph of somebody who's on the actual ID, and you can see him in the back, trying to hold it. You've had people try to upload images. We see where they're at. The AI actually catches it if it's a flat image. So it's got to be an actual selfie. In this case, it had to, you did the multi-factor authentication. So he did the barcode, it triggered a code, it went through. So I'm no super tech whiz. I just know that, the days of just having simple passwords are gone. Even just having the driver's license, if you stop there and just said upload one, I'm guilty of putting one on my computer. I have one saved on my phone. If I'm buying flights or this or that or renting a car, you got to punch that information. So pretty easy to steal. That's why you can't rely on any one step to do the job. So from here, if you are the company owner, you can continue to the next step. If you're a safety manager or compliance director, you would go ahead, put your information in, but a code would still get triggered with a link to the original owner. And that owner or officer of the company would still have to do the facial recognition, the government issued ID, and then authorize the manager or director to complete this process. So let's just say, it's the owner, it's an owner op. He's at a rest area, just doing this process. Then you go ahead and punch in any contact information. So operations, accounting, safety compliance, dispatch. You put in those different pieces of information, whether it's email addresses, whether it's phone numbers, and we'll go ahead and vet every single one of those. So we're going to do multi-factor authentication. And then, why is this important? It's important because a lot of people can simply just call in and say, hey, I'm with ABC Trucking. They give you the MC number and say, hey, this is just a new number. I'm a new employee. Go ahead and, communicate with me through here. And it's the easiest way to get a scam. Then you have ones that get even more sophisticated, and it'll take an actual domain. So ABC Trucking, they'll put, it's supposed to be LLC. They'll put one LC, and you get a Raycon, and everything will look the same, and they'll put logos. They'll switch it up, and they'll legitimately look like a real company, like the company they're trying to impersonate. They can slap stickers on trucks. They could do all sorts of stuff. So here, if the phone number does not match what's on the profile for the carrier, or an email address doesn't match, all you have to do is just say, hey, love to shoot it over to you. If you could go ahead, just have your manager update that, and I'll shoot it over your way once it appears on verified carrier. Boom. All it takes is a minute. They do it. It instantly gets verified. Once they get this code, they confirm. You're good to go. If they're not on there, boom, huge red flag. Proceed with caution. It's always your call. We're just here to empower people. So from here, we jump on to the next stage, and that's insurance. So earlier I said somebody could declare whatever they want, and they can, but to have an active MC authority, you do need to have a real insurance policy. So what does a scammer do? Go get the cheapest policy you possibly can. So go get that one Sprinter van or a Dodge Ram 3500. Have an active policy. Have the insurance agent send that MCS 90. You're active. You got your authority. Later, you go ahead and declare whatever you want. But that's how they start the scam. What we're going to do for a broker, insurance company, for factoring companies is we're going to go ahead and reach out on behalf of the carrier to the insurance carrier and say, hey, what are they actually insuring? Can you give us a list of the VINs that are on there? And then we're going to go ahead and scrub those later. But we know that these are actively insured vehicles. If there's anything that the broker is concerned about in terms of, hey, we haul this type of commodity or this or very expensive, solar inverters or TVs or technology or shoes. And we've seen companies reject claims because, it was insufficient or this specific commodity is not covered. We'll ask about that as well. Then we move on to the next piece. That's banking. So here's a scam. Somebody's leaving the industry. I know for one reason or another, somebody's retiring or just it's a bad freight market. Scammers go out and find people with MCs that are seasoned. So 8 years, 10, 12, 15 years in the business. They go ahead and offer them $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. Person's thinking they're selling their business. They're not. They're selling an MC number. But one thing they'll never do is let the money flow through the original person. So again, I'm going to use ABC Trucking. ABC Trucking in Washington sells the MC. Somebody opens an ABC Trucking in California, sends the brokers they work with updated check, even doctors the address to make it look like it's the same company, and they just switch checking account numbers. It's a whole different entity that's receiving this money. We use this third-party bill pay-like feature where they log in. We can't see a lot of the details here, but what we do know is who owns this account and where are they located. That's how we use it to triangulate with the ownership of the company. So as long as those match, you're good. If they don't, which there are legitimate cases where they don't, I'd say like an own credit shot, wife opens up an account. It's different people. Something doesn't match up. We reach out to them. Oh yeah, husband-wife relationship. This is legitimate. Boom. We can go ahead and remove the flag and you're verified for the banking piece. But if you're a scammer, you won't be. Then if you're using a factoring company, we're going to check that they have an NOA in place. We'll check that the contact information is good here. If they don't use one, they could go ahead and continue to the next piece. And that's the fleet information. Once we have the VIN numbers, we're going to scrub those. You know, I said Sprinter van, I said Dodge Ram. There's nothing wrong with moving freight with those. Whether it's final mile, you know, expedited, urban areas, if it's just hot shotting, you're moving cars, whatever it is, that's great. But you shouldn't get 53-foot van or reefer freight. People should know what equipment you have. If you have Volvos, you got Volvos, great. If you have a Dodge Ram, you got a Dodge Ram, great. People should know what you have, and you shouldn't be afraid to hide it. Because if you're a legitimate carrier, if you're hot shotting, it's all day long. Yeah, I got one truck that I drive and I got 2 other trucks that I dispatch. Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. But, you know, if you're CH Robinson, you see 10 or 40 loads to that same company and they're all vans and reefers. Well, somebody should be asking some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the problem too, man. Like, and I've been trying to get real serious with the compliance and checking even deeper. You know, using 411, it'll say like, yeah, we have 3 trucks, and all you see is a VIN number. And well, a lot of times you don't even look at that. It's associated with like 5 different companies. Like it's nuts. Like just today, I was just really reading into like companies related, and then seeing like what the VIN number was related to with different MCs. Like you just never know.
Well, you got people renting box trucks and specifically
Yeah.
driving and getting inspected. So they'll have inspection history, but they just don't own that equipment.
Right.
So there's all sorts of layers to these scams. And that's why the things that people did in the last 10, 15 years that were effective then, games changed. And since COVID, you know, for better or worse, stuff just went further online. Tech became more embedded into people's lives. And so there's no going back from that. And we need to admit that, hey, this is the new reality, and we need to use the right tools in this new reality.
Absolutely.
So the fleet tracking piece, and I'll touch on why this one's important as well, is that you have a few companies that are pretty rock solid. Our list is going to grow of, you know, approved vendors that can be trusted. Unfortunately, there's some companies operating out there that have tracking software that's spoofable, that you could just literally plug in an iPhone into a laptop and say you're doing a reset in South Dakota, you know, and there's either no truck at all or it's sitting on rail, and you could do all this stuff to fudge it to make it look like there's a real truck. So why it's important, I'll explain here in the next step. So once we have this information, we're about 80% complete with the onboarding process. You'll have a pretty good idea of, you know, what a carrier is willing or not willing to share. And then what does it translate to? Well, let's take a look at the dashboard. So if you're a broker and you're using verified carrier as part of your due diligence, you're going to have this dashboard. Dimitri, if we could.
Green from us. There we go.
So let's just take a look. You know, you got Cargo Wave. They say they can haul load for you. Things look good. You go ahead and, you know, look them up on verified carrier, and you see, hey, Cargo Wave already went through the 8 points of verification, and they completed every step. Everything checked out, everything matches, Secretary of State, government issued ID, the insurance info, great. Contact info, you see that's good. That's been, you know, multi-factor authenticated. The billing information, that's imported. Status, you see how long they've been in business, and there's a confirmed truck count. So you mentioned earlier how you're trying to piecemeal and you're looking up the actual VIN and you're trying to do all this work. Well, our confirmed truck count means actively insured, registration, cab card, insurance policy. You know, not every state does cab card and registration separately. Sometimes it's together. But basically, you know, they actually have 78 trucks. These 78 trucks are locked to this MC number. If they sell a truck and it appears on another MC, there will be a red flag. You'll be alerted. We're going to reach out to them and see what happened. Oh, yeah, they sold it. They bought it. You know, bill of sale, registration, boom, we disaffiliate it. So the idea here is if there's companies that are being shut down because of, you know, safety audit, and they're just trying to take that same junky equipment, open a new MC number, well, you'll be alerted. So that's kind of a cool feature that we like. We have the insurance piece, the safety scores. You'll see if anything's reported against a carrier. We actually do a due diligence piece where there's a period where somebody could submit information. It's an unverified report, goes into pending. You know, a carrier can respond if somebody says, hey, they're double brokering. They can provide logs and communication that shows something was authorized. It actually goes through. We have people trained and experienced in freight who can say, you know, it's corroborated or it's not corroborated. If it's substantiated, it goes into verified reports. Verified reports means proof has been submitted. It's past the contestment period. So unlike, some other platforms where just one party has like all the authority and they could change it ex post facto and edit their comments, and the best you could do is just put a little comment in the bottom, and seasoned veterans know how to read through it. A lot of people who are newer to freight don't.
My truck showed up late. I said my truck showed up late. I'm gonna throw a report on these guys.
I'm gonna shut them down. Yeah, I'm gonna put them out of business because I don't like what they did. So it's a lot of people just came in, and I feel like it's they're newer to the industry, so things are changing, and we have to adapt to the reality.
Rob and I have a name for those cats, and they're the COVID Crusaders.
There we go.
Came in 2020. Oh, we're going to make $1 million, and they have no idea what's going on.
And at the end of the day, I think maybe people newer to the industry, they don't realize that there's, in my family, my dad had a trucking company. I've seen truckers. I worked with truckers. I've been on both ends at a trucking company. I spent some time at C.H. Robinson, on the customer account side. It's a huge multifaceted thing. But at the end of the day, they're not just numbers on a screen. It's not just revenue. These are people's lives. These are livelihoods. These are companies that people build. And so if you're callous about what that means, you can really hurt a lot of people, and I don't know that it's always intentional, but there are those consequences. So part of our platform is the belief that people need to have an equal voice. So the carriers do need to have a voice. The brokers do need real, authentic, trustworthy data. And that's what we want to provide so that it's not lopsided. It just needs to be real, and it needs to be usable for everybody. And the next piece about how to do that, providing good information, not just trusting the FMCSA, is the inspections. I'd say that's probably one of the more reliable pieces of the FMCSA, is that you have a real DOT officer. There's a timestamp, there's a location, there's equipment, VIN numbers, but there's identity established there. And so this is great third-party info. The flip side is that you have an owner op, went through the CSVA blitz 18 months ago, had a sticker, not getting pulled in for randoms. The guy or gal takes care of their truck. That thing is shiny. They get flagged through every time. When that owner op is trying to call and get a load, more often than not, a broker is going to say, you haven't been inspected for 1.5 years. You're a double broker. You don't actually have any equipment. I'm not going to give you this load. Well, that's very backwards. So what we do is we take it a step further. If they're using a bypass, whether it's drive-bys or pre-pass, we import this data third party, and we'll show you where they're pinging past the way stations. So if you leave the Portland metro area, before you hit Idaho State, you're going to pass by about 3 way stations. So you'll get 3 pings there. So we'll show you in the last 30 days where they've been. Then the fleet tracking piece. I believe CargoWave uses Samsara. So here you'll see in the last 30 days, where have they been? You don't need to ask them, what's your, where are you strong? Where's your lanes? You'll just look here and you'll see where their activity is. So you get a pretty good idea of what they do and don't do. And if you're getting a call, someone's trying to ask about a California to Arizona, well, one, check the contact info. Is, the email part of their profile or the phone number? Is it a number that's been vetted? If it is, go ahead, ask the question. What's going on here? You guys don't run that lane. And maybe someone will come back and say, we heard Amazon's going to open up a new location in Tucson. So we just want to throw a couple of trucks here. We think we can develop a strong lane here. Awesome. You had that discussion, and you had it based on real data, and it comes from a third party. And then again, we want to look at another carrier, because it's not all going to be cargo waves out there.
That carrier,
Huh?
you can tell. I said that carrier, you can tell where they cruise the shit out of I-80 coast to coast, bro. You see that dark blue, dude, you can see them, boy. You know exactly what they're doing. That is some cool shit.
Yeah, I want to touch on that pass
for
fly thing,
real,
though, dude. That's nuts, because I think, I don't know, the standard has kind of became, it's a newer MC and they've not gotten inspected one time. Well, nobody ever thinks, hey, maybe these guys are just legit. This dude could have been trucking for 30 years and he's like, hey, I'm going to do my own shit now. And he just does it right. It's pretty wild.
You have somebody who's 4 months in the business, has a real truck, they're setting up their little office, they're just doing whatever they can. They log on to, the DAT truck stop, whatever. They're trying to actually run a company. And then you have somebody who's sitting in, I can name a number of countries. I don't want to throw any shade at any country in particular, but you have people in these other countries that bought an MC off of somebody, and you think you're working with a 10-year veteran, and that there is no truck. And so you have this real company stateside trying to make a living, trying to get in the business, and you have somebody in another country who is just scamming people left and right. But the way we've done business and the things that worked in the past make it look like that's the better one.
Yeah.
Who's watching to make sure that the ownership hasn't changed hands? Who's watching to see if there's a vehicle, count spike according to their declaration, the FMCSA?
Yeah, this thing right here, dude, I like this because I'll tell you, man, that just like Hunter touched that you touched on, this is a huge thing in the industry right now, is this inspection stuff. And man, although I get it, like it is probably the biggest catch-22 in anyone's verification process. And here's why. And this is me speaking as a driver, dude, from 10 years. And I've said this before. I think I can count on possibly one hand the times I've been pulled in for an inspection. And I mean, and I'll touch on something you said. A big part of that I know was because I took care of my truck. My truck and trailer were always clean. My dash stayed clean, and even if they did pull me over, they'd open up my door, see my truck was spotless, and close it and be like, have a good day. So, I mean, I'm glad y'all do this, dude, because I think there are a lot of carriers, new ones out there that are reputable, and they get passed over and don't even get a chance to prove themselves because they're like, hey, you haven't had an inspection yet. And they don't understand that inspections for new MCs are fairly rare. And the reason is because FMCSA has that 1 year kind of window, like you don't even get an audit within your first year. You know what I mean? So like this is awesome, man. Y'all being able to track this stuff, download all this data, dude. I mean, I'm not a guy that really loves tech, but there are places that it is a great thing. And this is one of them, man. So, I mean, applause on all of it. But, really that one part, dude, that's a huge hurdle to try to overcome right now.
Yeah.
I like seeing where the trucks go.
I do too, bro.
You can go to like different platforms that like you can try and find, where these guys are running, but you have real-time data and it shows, hey, these guys are legit. They do their inspections. Nothing's funky. Like, dude, that'll save you so much time, especially in the RFP process or like trying to find a real good carrier to handle freight. They're very important freight, which all of it's important, but yeah, getting all the BS out of the way is top.
Andre, I don't want to stop your flow, but let me know when you're done because even though it looks like I haven't been paying attention, I've actually been writing down like a bunch of questions that I want to ask you when you're finished. So
I was just gonna say,
let me know when you're done, if you would.
Yeah. The last part of this is, you're on the dashboard. It's 4:30. It's Friday. Your first truck bounced. Speedy Freight calls you up. You say, Speedy Freight, love to give you this load, but go ahead and get vetted. Here's a link for verified carrier. After 5 minutes, you see they started the process, didn't want to share about the bank, can't or won't, you make the decision. The ownership doesn't match up. They send some registrations. It's for different companies. These guys are all over the place. Carrier fitness over there, or driver fitness on the safety scores through the roof. There's just all sorts of issues here. They have an MC that's from 2010, but then you look, they got reinstated in 2023. So there's just red flags galore. At the end of the day, you make the call, right? It's your business. Do I want to work with Speedy Freight? They're going to have 15 different excuses for the different information here. But the thing is, now you know how transparent they are. It's not just about, I got a feeling about something. You're getting back solid data here. So that's basically it. This is what that 8 points of verification. You can run through the process in about 5 minutes. An owner op could do it, grab the registration from the visor, pull out a driver's license. You could do it all with your smartphone in 5 minutes flat. If you're a larger company, you can do a batch upload. We have a different option there. No one at Swift Knight's going to have to sit there and punch in VIN numbers for 3 years straight for all their equipment. We have a different route. But basically, we just want to give you this information. Again, we vet this information, third party after third party after third party. So when you look here, you can trust that on Verified Carrier, you're getting way more rock solid data than any other platform. And that's Verified Carrier in a nutshell. You know?
Sweet. Absolutely, man. I love it, man. Like, dude, again, not a big tech guy, but I'll say that our industry is one of the things that tech does a lot of good for, because there's a lot of moving parts, and in every little section has its own thing. Carriers, it's a bunch of moving parts. Getting set up with brokers and booking loads. Brokers, it's a bunch of moving parts. Getting set up with carriers, getting set up with shippers, tenders, all this stuff. So technology in our industry, as far as like it being able to automate and expedite things, I really like it, man. And there's, everybody's got something out there, I mean, everybody's got something, but this, I like yours, man. It is very, very in depth. I love how many steps you have. I was telling my wife about this earlier. She was like, babe, who do you have coming on the show tonight? And I was like, we have this guy who runs a company called Verified Carrier. And she's like, well, what do they do? And I just gave her, try to give her a quick synopsis. And I said, here's the easiest way to explain it. I'm a veteran, and we have a thing, which actually carriers have to do it now too, but it's called login.gov. And to get a login.gov and get set up as a veteran, dude, I've got to upload my DD-214. I've got to upload my VAID, facial, like it's a process exactly almost like yours. And it's hard to get around it, because obviously you upload this, so they go and cross match your VAID to the ID on file, so it makes sure that, people can't steal a veteran's ID and get discounts and loans and stuff, through a veteran's name. So I mirror it to that. And I say that because it's a compliment, man. Like, I hope you take it that way, because that's an extensive process to get set up with them, dude. I want to go through my questions. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. Logistics, bro. I'm working, and my people are pinging the absolute hell out of me. I'm apologies for the million time, bro. Move to.
Well, yeah, you attend to that. I want to chime in just really quickly, say that I guess the differences with us is we're not trying to necessarily predict anything with just AI based on self-declared data, because what's the value of that? Garbage in, garbage out. We want to give real data. The whole process and all these 8 points, we don't want to just make it difficult for carriers. We know what carriers go through. We know brokers experience. We only want to give things that are value added. So if it's not value added, there's no point in doing it. And we're not tech guys who are going into freight. We've seen some companies do that with very mixed success. We're actually freight guys that are like, hey, there's this massive problem, so we're figuring out tech to see how to tackle it, because you can leverage it responsibly, and have it be value added. But at the end of the day, it's real problems, and it's a real solution.
And I love how this benefits both sides, man. Like brokers and carriers, because like we talked about before, like the legitimate carriers out there are also struggling because there's just such a I don't know, everybody's snake bit. You never know who's going to be there. It could be the most pristine, clean MC number, and there could be one little glitch on it, but you just don't know.
But you're losing freight. You might actually be a carrier who's running what looks like a legitimate load. It's not. It's double brokered. And it could be somebody, if it's somebody nurturing an MC, you can get stiffed for the full amount. And then you're trying to chase down a shipper, and you're ruining a real broker's relationship, or they have to pay you out. It's just sucking money out of the economy. Or somebody's taking a $5,000 load and you're running it for $4,600. The person who actually owns a truck pays for fuel, pays for tolls, might pay a driver. You're making less money, and somebody's skimming money off the top for doing nothing. They don't have a customer relationship. They just.
We were talking about this yesterday or on Friday. It's like, I think Jeff Dickinson said it, so it would have been on Friday. But like, some of these carriers are one bad load away from going bankrupt, which, I mean, that's not anybody's problem but theirs. But, if you are a new trucker and, you got not much money to work with in the bank, like every load counts, and one bad cookie in the bunch. Like, I've heard some horror stories, man. Like, someone gets double brokered, and a month later, this carrier's finally doing their research and calls the broker, and they're like, yo, where's my money at? And that person in between that double broker is nowhere to be found. Yeah, it's just waste everybody's time.
As a carrier, you are protected. We also think of it in a way of it's like a credit monitoring. you are protecting the identity of your business. If somebody tries to impersonate your MC number, you'll get alerted. Because you as a carrier, you get your own profile too. It's not just the broker that gets a dashboard. The carrier has their own dashboard as well. So it's a cool feature where like, yeah, I'm the owner and I'm going to stay the owner and no one can impersonate me as the owner. It's going to be so much more difficult for anyone to try to impersonate one of my employees. And so it's meant to help the industry. It's not meant to help any one part of the industry. The supply chain is multifaceted and there's so many parties involved, and it's crucial that everybody get accurate data.
So I want to get to my questions real quick, man. And you kind of answered this, but not to like where I feel myself. So is every part of this a human verification process, or is part of it AI, part of it human? And if so, can you give me a percentage of each?
Yeah. I would say the whole process between the 8 points of verification, in the grand scheme of things, it's about 80% third-party platforms, just tech, and 20% back office.
Okay.
So when somebody goes through, if everything's clean, everything matches right on the front end, pretty quick turnaround. As soon as there's a bunch of red flags and we're trying to figure out this and we're trying to figure this out with the bank and we're reaching out to the carrier and they're trying to explain and we're going back and forth, that 20% piece can take up more time. But that's kind of the split there. So,
okay. All right. So on the facial match and the ID thing, what if, say, me, dude, I've got a beard, man. What if I got a beard now? And matter of fact, I think my ID has me without my beard. But what about the situation like that, man? Are y'all able to detect that difference? Does that cause a flag or what?
We've seen people who had beards or have or don't have with their ID between the facial recognition and the government issued ID, and the system was able to read it. So again, if you watch different videos on how it works, yes, the contour of the face, the spacing in the eyes. I don't know how deep it goes into the actual the pupils. I don't know if.
Listen, I didn't realize that you guys had fucking MI6 and CIA tech. Okay, I don't think that was a stupid question, Hunter.
I didn't think it was a stupid question. No,
it's a great question.
I've recently gotten denied at the gas station for trying to buy beer because I look too young or something. I was like, no, this is me.
You were doing like this, like Rob, you idiot.
No. Yeah, the facial recognition goes beyond that. Like Andre said, it looks at your facial details, like the depth in your nose and
this, that,
the structure.
There's all these, when you look at the little models, how it does the overlay.
And then it scans your retina and counts your DNA and
I've been
a little trick on your laptop.
Yeah. I got a blood log in.
I have an expansion, excuse me, not just facial hair, but IDs now, like Texas, my wallet's in the bedroom, but I think here in Texas, our IDs are 7 years. And so, in that time, people can age badly, things like that. My point is, if they do the facial and the ID and the thing says, and the things, see, dude, you don't even look like
I
that.
look totally different, dude. That's not even me.
What happens with that? Someone fails that. Is that a boom, you're done? Or does a human step in and be like, okay, this is the same freaking dude. He's just fat now, or he's just skinny, or, he grew some mutton chops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say I'd love to answer it. I think it's one of those, I don't think it's happened yet. And I don't want to just say something just to say something for the sake of saying it. Our tech guys, I think they'll have a more concrete answer. I would think that there would be some human involvement there just to see your alternate piece of ID. There's something else that you could do. But we've actually tried to spoof it numerous times. So as we were doing our beta stuff, Q3 of last year, just really working out the bugs, we had brothers who, one had an ID with no beard, and he had an ID that he does have a beard and he doesn't. So any combo that we could use if people look similar enough to try to spoof it, take two guys that are bald in the office, try to go, have one pretend to be the other. And it seemed to catch him 100% of the time. I don't think we've had it fail one time. Again, you can't just put a picture. That's one thing that we have seen. You can't just put a picture to the camera because it's not just about the image. That's why it makes you do this sort of business.
Yeah, yeah.
because then it can actually get a 3D imprint of your face. And again, between all the little correlation data points, it does it. And so I think it just goes beyond just I have a beard or I don't have beard. Obviously, yeah, if you're gonna like be covered up or trying to wear sunglasses and do it, I think that would be an issue. But for the most part, just based on my cursory knowledge of this subject, is you have so many data points that the majority of them are still valid even as you age. I don't think wrinkles would throw it off. I don't think having a tan or not having a tan would throw it off.
Jason, if you'll or JB, I'm sorry, JB, if you'll give me a minute, bro, I'll get back to your comment that was actually something I was going to ask. So great.
Is that Jason you're talking about?
Yeah, JB.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's his government name. Yeah, that's his government name.
Oh shit.
All right.
I'm void.
Okay. Next one. What if some info doesn't match, whether it be the banking part in Addy or just something be denied, something you're like, hey, this doesn't add up, but I'm for real, like I'm the real deal, but you just don't like something. Like, is there a way to appeal that? And is that an expedited process?
Our turnaround right now is hovering around 72 hours because of the fact that we do have to reach out to the insurance company. We do reach out to the carrier if the bank piece doesn't come back, if something's off with the Secretary of State. People might send registrations and say, hey, yeah, it's actually under here, but here's our lease agreement. So there's all sorts of nuances to it. But we typically get these answers back within 3 days' time. So
okay, man. Well,
that's
cool.
where
yeah, that's cool, but in a way it sucks, because you may lose out on that player load that you wanted to get, you know what I mean? So, but in due time.
But just to let you know, when someone's working, and so we're actually talking to several larger brokerages. We had a customer who got a discount on their insurance, so we've seen some cool stuff happen. But at the end of the day, what I repeat as we're talking to people, because we are pretty new. I mean, people love the concept, but it's a big hurdle to say, hey, I'm going to use this really rigorous vetting process as part of my new process, by partnering with Verified Carrier. But within 5 minutes, even before that back office 20% piece is completed, you'll get a really good indication of how transparent someone is by them even initiating the process.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I'll use this as an example, which honestly, this is another thing that I think is bullshit in the industry right now. And although I understand it, I think it's crap. And that's the whole virtual office thing. And I know it's a thing for scammers, but I'm going to tell you, man, a majority of these carriers and these brokers in the industry right now, they're at their freaking house. You know what I mean? When I don't know about y'all, but when I do business with anybody, when I'm calling a prospect or whatever, and I always search their business. Like, I want to see, hey, how big is their facility? Like that's what I do as a broker. So, I know that if I'm a carrier, and someone searches me, I don't want them to pull up my trailer that I honestly live in or my little house or my apartment, so they do virtual offices. My point is with this whole thing where you get denied, I've had a friend of mine get denied for that reason. But luckily, it wasn't a technology thing, but luckily he was able to submit his ID with his, and say, hey, look, I know it's a virtual office, but here's my ID. Here's the actual address of where I live. And I mean, he was able to save the load. So that was it. Not talking anything, just saying, hey, carriers want to fix, get that stuff fixed as rapidly as possible, to be able to get that load. And following on that, my final question is, well, JB has my final question actually, but if you find out that someone is a scammer, and do you report any of that to like Highway, Care 411, Freight Guard, like when you are sure, like, hey, this person is BS? Like, do you blast that out anywhere so maybe people who don't use Verified Carrier have a chance to not get screwed over as well?
This is one of those things that it is a benefit of using Verified Carrier, is that you'll be able to see who's not verified, and then you'll see anything reported against this carrier. So those are separate platforms with their own standards for reports, for whatever they do, how they choose to represent people. For us, we have our own database, we have our own vetted carriers, and again, our system is different in that we take real data and vet it. We don't just rely on public data with AI twist. So it would require being a customer and logging into Verified Carrier and checking the MC. And you'll see right away, just like you saw with Speedy Freight, you got blue check mark, then red, and then pending investigation, the yellow hourglass. Then you got another red, means flat out, they just didn't do it, or it does not match up and they have no explanation for it. So they get those red check marks. And so that's why you go in there and you see, hey, these people are a joke. These people are not being transparent at all. These people will not share information. So I think I might have used the example before. I don't know today, how much do you have to do to rent a car versus how much some people need to do to get a $100,000 load. Like, it's so easy to get it.
Yeah.
You try enough and somebody desperate enough will give it to you. And you literally didn't have to prove anything. So I think we want that to finish.
I said that was my last question, but JB's question actually made me think about something else. Before you answer that, hold on. Y'all, I know the name of your company is Verified Carrier, but have you thought about a verified broker?
That is an idea.
I mean, I hate this. I'm going to say, man, carriers, they get fucked by brokers just as much as brokers get screwed by carriers, man. So, hey, you better jump on it because I just put it out. So someone's going to try to do it. So you better make it, dude. That would be. I'm serious. I just asking
But I have to say, because it's a great question. At the end of the day, though, and this is in our own experience, and I don't have a specific number for it. I don't know if there's a white paper published by, Verisk or Freight Waves or somebody, but I will say, in our research, the overwhelming majority of all of this fraud, all of this scamming, all of this double brokering, it starts with the carrier. How do you double broker load? Pretend to be a carrier, get your hands on that freight, turn around. Now, as the broker, tender it to a real carrier who will actually move it. How did you do it? It's by pretending to be a carrier. So what do? Weed out fake carriers.
Andre said, Pedro, let me break out the crowns for you. All right, let's go ahead and get to JB's comment. JB is a regular guest on our show. Fantastic guy. He's one of the peak drivers. He's successful out there right now. He's doing good things. So yeah, there you go, Andre.
What about a map for carriers on brokers and loads they have by state? A map for carrier. So that's moving to load board territory and different things. At Verified Carrier, we love to remind people that we are not a load board. We're not an onboarding platform. What we want to do is be laser focused as a fully independent vetting tool. We want to vet people, and we want to, basically tell you that this identity of a carrier is legitimate or not. That's what we want to do. And so I know some other platforms maybe work with certain factoring companies, or, they're partnered with certain load boards. Our whole thing is we want to partner with everybody. We just think that this should be an industry standard. We don't care about the airline. Correction. We care about all airlines, but we want to be the TSA pre-check. So, whoever's getting into the airport is a legitimate individual. That's what we want to be. We want to be that additional layer of vetting that it's rock solid if they got that check.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
and I think hold on, Rob. I think what JB was asking, kind of like what we were looking at, where you can see where the trucks have passed through, like their inspections, drive-bys, whatever. I think he's asking, like, if we can see, or if drivers could see, like, where carriers are like booking out of. So, so me as a driver, I'm not just calling any like TQL guy or whoever, like anybody that's a broker, saying like, hey, do you have any loads here? Like, if I'm a broker using this platform, you're a carrier using this platform, he can see like where I'm signing carriers up and yada yada. But
yeah, so that's more like the real-time stuff. The way we currently have it set up, and that whole feature, the 3 layers, the heat maps. For us, that's a tool to show that someone has legitimate operating experience and where they run. It's not meant to be a live tool. It's not meant to be just a tracking tool, right? You can't see a little truck passing through on the map and see where your load's going. There's other guys who do that. That's not the space we're in right now. We just want to show you that, hey, this owner op is legit. This owner op actually runs. It's a real legitimate business. Sorry, he doesn't have recent DOT inspections, but you shouldn't hurt the little guy because of that. That's where that's at.
Gotcha. Sorry, JB. Only brokers can be creative and see where carriers drive.
hey, so I'm gonna Matt Leffler this, and dude, that's gonna be one of our new puns is when you say hold on,
Leffler.
Yeah, this is my final thing. Hold on, this is my last question. We're gonna say I'm a Matt Leffler. Do you know Matt Leffler, Andre?
No.
Oh man, you got to go and watch last night's show. He's and you're on LinkedIn, so you got to connect with him. Matt Leffler, Leffler. His tag is armchair attorney, dude.
Oh no! I do actually.
Yes,
his stuff.
He's the man.
he was on last night. He was like, "All right, final point before I go." Blah 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 blah. All right, final point before I go. Blah blah blah. All right,
and one more thing.
Hey, you got an attorney to talk for free and keep adding points. That's a win.
Oh man,
we just haven't got the invoice yet.
yeah. Matt is absolutely amazing. So, all right, here's one thing. I don't know if you said this when you were talking about yourself. I don't think you did. I know y'all were on the Pacific Coast, obviously. Is that where you're from, brother? Or are you like a transplant or what?
No, I am a transplant. I was actually born in Ukraine.
Okay.
Here.
Where'd you grow up? You don't mind me asking.
Portland, Oregon. Well, okay, Portland, Milwaukee, Oak Grove.
Oh, well, that's
the post office. So then we have to be considered part of Milwaukee. But then Milwaukee's getting absorbed into Portland, Oregon.
Oh.
Now the craziness in Portland, I jumped across the river. I'm in Washington State now in Vancouver.
So weird question. And I mean, I don't know if you have thought about this or anyway, weird question. Are you guys 24 hours, 24/7, 365 a year?
Like I know you talked about availability. It's scant in the nighttime hours. Mm-hmm. This is one of those we're ramping up. So as we're getting our trickle, and I think the hose is really about to open. We're having some really later discussions. So in our funnel with people that are onboarding, they have different strategies for how they want to roll out and introduce verified in their due diligence and their onboarding. So we're onboarding people. We're going to have, we will have round the clock. So if somebody's at 3 a.m. and they have a question and they're not getting this little check mark and something came up, they'll be attended to. But I think right now, most of the time they'll be, I think 5, 6 a.m.
Okay. Well, hey, I ask because there are some brokers out there who aren't full of shit and actually do operate 24 hours a day, 365 a year. I got people here all night. So we get carriers trying to book loads at 2, 3 a.m. People booking loads at 1 p.m. on a Sunday.
Hey, this is a 365, 24/7 business. Trucks don't just park at 5 p.m. and sit there until 8 a.m. and turn it on again. That's not how this business works. So I do understand that. And it is a reality for the business. And I know the space that we're in, we know from moving freight from many members on the team, what it is. And the whole idea here is to work in our space the way that we work. And you have to understand it's a different business. It's a different beast. It's not a factory. We don't get to just, put our hats on the wall and go home with our lunchbox at a certain hour. That's not, if only.
Yeah. If only. That's true. If only. Man, I love doing this some days. Some days I like it. Some days I hate it. Last week, I fucking hated every day of it because I lost money every day. Last week, I was ready to throw my computer out the damn window and shut off my internet. I'm like, I give up, man. Oh, man.
Gauntlet last week.
Hey, but you know what? I have to say, if you've ever been on a drive and you're just driving on a straight road, it's smooth. It's fine, but it gets boring. When living out on the West Coast, when you're doing this sort of business, that's where you get the best viewpoints. Yeah, you hit some valleys, but then you get those mountain peaks, and so it makes things interesting.
You're right.
2 weeks are the same. That's one
Yo.
thing. There's no dread.
I love that analogy.
2 hours are the same. What are you talking about, bro? No, 2 hours are the damn same in this business, man. Oh, it's freaking God. It's an absolute nightmare. Andre, again, like I don't know, I like this, man. Like I said, there's so much tech and stuff coming out for things in this industry for, all kinds of stuff, load board this, verification that, so forth and so on. And Hunter and I, we try to find people that, got some cool tech and stuff, man. Like things we're like, okay, hey, this is a step above the rest, man. And y'all really got some cool stuff going on, and I also want to say, that there's others out there that, I'm not going to say their name, and they do deal with setups too, but their process is kind of half-ass. You know what I mean? Like the data is only pulled, maybe once a month, you know what I mean? Every 2 or 3 weeks and stuff. And so there's a window there that someone can easily create fraud and take someone for several $1,000s, man. And none of them have the steps that y'all have in place. And I know that some people say, hey, this is a little much, so forth, so on. Why should we have to go through all of this? Sorry, man. But I unfortunately, it's just the times that we live in. You know what I mean? Like it is. It's just where we're at. You can't trust anybody. Me as a broker, this is a huge thing with us, man. And we have, I don't know, I think 5 or 6 different steps, and each one of those steps actually involves a different software platform verifying things, and some of them are redundancies to other platforms. You know what I mean? To make sure, hey, like, this guy isn't, or this platform isn't missing data that the other one has or something. So it sucks, man, but it is just it's a part of doing business now. And I honestly, like, I think a lot of people understand, and I hate it for the main reason that, dude, the days of just a carrier calling you and giving you an MC, you doing a simple check, hey, freaking, Reginald here checks out. You know what I'm saying? Sending the guy Raycon, that's the end of it. It's not. Now it literally can be an hour, 2 hour process, 3 hour, 4 hour process to try to find a load. And then sometimes, you go through that process as a carrier or as a broker, you go through that process with the carrier. And by the time it's all done, the carrier's moved on or the broker's booked it with someone else who was already set up and verified. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like this, dude. And I like that once you're in the system, you're good to go. You're gravy. Actually, hey, one more thing, actually. Maybe you answer this, dude. I mean, my brain slips or whatever, but how often do y'all update like the data? Like I know they get verified with their face and stuff, but do y'all continuously run scans to see, hey, this thing changed on their insurance or their bank or whatever? Like how often do you do that? And you may have answered that. And if you did, I'm sorry, Andre.
Yeah. So when somebody is on and they're a verified carrier, we check that stuff. So you're getting alert in real time. So as soon as that MCS 150 is filed and there's a new vehicle count, we alert you to that. Then we go ahead and check, and we ask for, what are those VIN numbers? What vehicles are they in the insurance? Reach out back to the insurance. If there's a change in ownership, something gets registered with the Secretary of State, change in hands, we alert you. Contact information's been updated on Safer. We'll go ahead and look into it. So we are live monitoring that information. And whatever is of relevance, we do ping you. So if you got a carrier list of people that you're using and anything changes with any of those and it raises a red flag, you get pinged about it. Because oftentimes it's just fully, completely legit.
Yeah.
But just so you're aware, okay, so I need to know that changed or this changed, or I'm aware that, a son took over the business and the son is now officially listed as the owner, and that actually they had to do their business license filing. They actually updated that information. Cool, gravy. And now I had this touch point where I know this happened, and I know, hey, new head honcho, you already knew he was in the business. He was working for years. So that's one of those things that's nice. And then, of course, if something's happening with the scammer, then you're alerted to it too. And oftentimes when something like that does happen, you already have a feeling about it, because you're
we have a regular guest on our show that is an exact thing what he said. He took over his dad's business and restarted his MC, which brings me to another question. How far are y'all able to look, or the platforms you use are able to look in the past? And I asked this because of this guest that we have on, Ron, Batiste Transport, Elise, if y'all watching, hey. But our buddy Ron, his dad had a trucking company for many, many years, and he shut it down. And I don't know, there was quite a gap in between the time that the MC got shut down and my buddy was like, hey, I want to start this back up, get this running. So how far does y'all's data go back? Are y'all able to see something like that?
You saw on Speedy Freight, original authority was 2010, but reinstated 2023.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I know something happened. You know how old the original MC is. That's could be a red flag, but again, it could be that situation. But the whole thing is it's up to you still to use that information. We just want to give you the information and empower you to work, act on it. And so that's one of those things you can have that discussion. But the whole point is, well, that in and of itself isn't a make it or break it type of piece of information. That's why you have 8 points of verification to close the loop. So if they're willing to share their bypass information, they have actual real trucks. The owner went on there and scanned his face or her face. They have nothing to hide. Okay, yeah, they reinstated it 4 months ago, but you see it's a fully legitimate operation. So that owner can't just be like, oh, I got double broker. I don't know what happened. Someone stole my license. No. They went into verified carrier and actively created a profile, actively designated employees, actively share this information. So this carrier is like, no, I'm in it with you. I'm a trusted partner, right? So let's say it's a badge of honor if you're a verified carrier. If you got the check mark.
Need one of those shirts, man. Need a couple of shirts.
That is good stuff, man. Oh, that's fucking amazing. I'm out of questions, honestly, dude. You answered everything that I had, and sorry I didn't have them preloaded for you, bro. But this is how we do. Like, hey. We think of shit. I just type stuff out, man. Hey, we think that's the best, though, bro. Keep you on your toes, man. You know what I mean? Keep you on your freaking toes, dude. Hunter, you got anything you want to?
Yeah, actually. So, Andre, can you see any of the comments that are popping up on the side here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had a couple ask, and so Thomas is asking about brokers using a platform as a must-use after a load delivers. From what I'm thinking on that, it seems like it's a broker by broker basis. But so you see this, and it goes into some specific verbiage.
Okay, so they're talking about somebody who is using this completely. Skyline, who said, hey, we've gotten scammed so many times. We need you to become a verified carrier to make sure that we're paying the actual carrier that ran this load. And so I think there's some chatter. There's somebody's tried to, I want to say just borderline almost harass the company because of some shared ownership between the founder. So with Skyline with their management decided to roll it out completely across the board. And it's one of those things you put in the rate con. Do people read the rate con? Yes, no. I think somebody was trying to say, hey, you guys are trying to scam carriers and trying to get them to pay $300 and whatever it is. As far as I'm aware, if you go on verifiedcarrier.com, we actually have a promotion where it's completely free. So in that case, I don't know why this individual keeps doing this. So with Skyline, we reached out to them. Skyline checked that carrier is actually, it got paid. But this individual keeps trying to go with 3 different profiles. We don't want to get distracted by the noise. Our mission is clear. Our objective, we're laser focused on that. How customers are going to use this is up to them. So, verified before you take a load, verified after the load, whatever it is. In this situation, it's free to use. Somebody could go get verified, show who they are, great, receive a payment with that customer. They could shut it off and say, hey, I don't care to be verified. I want to remove my information. I don't want anything to do with this platform. So
it's free. All they have to do is just do it.
All they have to do is just do it and just say, hey, yep, I am the actual carrier. please pay me my money.
So on that, I think I honestly kind of think I understand where this is. I read the same thing, and Andre, we weren't trying to put you on the spot. Hunter and I talked about this earlier because someone sent us a story, and I was like, man, fuck. If this comes up, I don't want to like snowball this guy. But I would ask, it's the brokers that sign up for your thing and pay you for the service. Would I be correct?
Both.
Okay.
The idea is right now we're in the promotion as we're rolling out. We're getting traction. The idea is that broker, you get this excellent tool that you can use and you can see information. Carrier, you get active monitoring and protection of your MC, your identity, your business. So both of them have a subscription.
Okay, so everyone, to answer y'all's question, y'all just heard it from the horse's mouth. Andre and them have the service for free right now. What this sounds like is a broker trying to make money off of Andre's service or something like that. Like, hey, but y'all heard it, which I hate to say it. We all know brokers do stuff like that. They hide fees, and they try to find reasons not to pay. So y'all just heard it from Andre. His service is free as right now. And if a broker is charging them, that is like on them. Andre, you guys are not a broker, correct? Like verified carrier, you're not a broker. You don't hold an MC number.
Yeah, no, our founder has a brokerage, but our founder created this platform. This platform is completely independent. So it's not, we're not, I think early in discussions, and we're talking with some of the larger brokers, we're talking about the multi-billion-dollar ones. We're talking to them and they're like, well, what do you guys, are you just running this as like a side thing? And it's like, no, this platform is its own separate entity. We've leveraged the experience we had there, but at some point in time, that brokerage could be renting an office from this company, or our headquarters could be in a separate area. The idea here is it's separate management. It was born out of the same founder, it was born out of the same idea, it was born out of that experience. And again, that's why I say, people who've had jump teams and come over to Verified Carrier, they're actual freight people. But no, we're not two companies working together. We're not just for one company. I like to say we have an Elon Musk, but SpaceX is SpaceX and Tesla is Tesla, and whatever thing.
That is a very good analogy, very good comparison, bro. It really is. So,
and hey, just to touch on what Brandon and Thomas are saying, it sounds like a good way just to promote the product. If it's free, hey, sign up for it, man. It's one brokerage. That's not everybody. But also read the rate con. If it's your first time working with a new brokerage, read the rate con.
Yeah,
don't take that long.
I like to add that one of the things that has me, scratching my head about the industry is I don't want to throw the company's name. I don't want to throw shade at any company. Everybody's out there. I think, a lot of people are making good faith efforts to develop businesses to solve problems, but there's spoofable software, and you'll have a rate con that says, hey, use my spoofable software or I'm going to charge you $500. Driver, for one reason or another, does not use spoofable software, and it's a legitimate real driver. There's
brokerages out there that'll charge you for not tracking.
Yeah, you could get Verified Carrier for free for a year instead of this fee. And Verified Carrier is legitimate. You see the data, you see what goes into it. You guys got to see what information is there. And so it's just one of these, what value do you get from that rate charge, which has now been accepted in the industry, versus here's just a rock solid multiple third-party platform data that has a cost. Again, we're not taking public information and trying to interpret it. We're giving you real vetted information. We have third-party cost fees, but we think that there's value in it, and we stand behind the product, and our customers stand behind the product. Otherwise, an insurance company wouldn't give a discount for using Verified Carrier, because underwriters are the hardest people to convince of anything. If you've ever worked with one, if you try to insure a truck, if you try to do anything. And so the fact that we're getting this traction and we're getting this pushback and we're getting some hate, we feel like, okay, good. We're ruffling feathers, because the status quo sucks. It sucks across the board. And so whatever we keep doing, we can't keep doing and expecting different results, because that's the definition of insanity. We need to legitimately change what we're doing, because the game has changed. And so that's what we're rolling out, and we're gonna keep pushing, because again, what's happening right now is not sustainable, and it just keeps ticking upwards. And so, there's macroeconomic factors, there's things with COVID, there's people who got to work, as things were getting outsourced and we're pulling back. And you have these people who are like trained in how to work in American companies. And some of that's being used against us. We have to be aware of it. You can't just pretend like it doesn't exist. And so, yeah, verified carrier, again, it's just born out of that necessity from freight. And okay, what tech can we use to combat it? Not we're tech guys and freight, we can figure it out. We can figure out anything. Well, no, you can't. This is a beast that no one person, no one company has figured out how to conquer, and nor should it. I think it's all of us working together. There's so many different moving pieces from the tech side, and what Amazon or Microsoft is doing to secure how our email works, and all these encryptions and all these different programs for what Apple's doing to encode messages so that you can text safely. There's all these different companies. No one person is going to fix it. No one company is going to fix it all. So I think it's going to take all of us working together, but caring about the issue to make some difficult decisions moving forward. And I think that's not everybody's ready for that. And some people are kind of entrenched. Some people, they almost have some reputation because of how things are, but it's not about verified carrier. It's not about any one company. It's about let's fix this problem. Like, how can we actually fix it? If Congress could fix it and these companies wouldn't need to exist, it's imagination time. Imagination time. Right? If they could do it in these companies and we don't need these companies, how awesome would that be? Like if people stopped stealing and we didn't need door locks, okay, a few door locks companies would go out of business, but how awesome would that be as a society?
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is it's not going away. So who's making the better door locks?
I want to.
Smith and Wesson's making better door locks.
I know. Oh, dude! Mic drop. Boo. I want to say you're almost right, Andre. Although we're not a company, the Logistics Lounge is going to change everything. We're bringing everybody together, brother. Everybody, people like you, carriers like JB, so you're half right. You're mostly right, but the watch, you're gonna see it, man. We're gonna have a mural painted on the side of the logistics skyscraper, and it's gonna be the Logistics Lounge saved us.
Hey,
imagination,
man.
Yeah, imagine. Oh, that's good.
I love it though, man. Andre, that's exactly what we've been going after, dude. I don't know if you popped in any of our recent Friday shows or just any of them. Most of our shows, it revolves around the fraud, the scam, the bullshit we go through day and day that just makes this job way more difficult than it needs to, because in all reality, we shouldn't have to be dealing with this. I mean, there's always going to be some bad grapes in the bunch, but dude, having to play I mean, even going through my carrier packet or a 4-on-1, it's still a flip of the coin sometimes, and that's just disheartening. I hate it. I hate it.
And I remember myself when I was an account manager, I guess it's already 10 years back, when I'm chasing down an invoice because I decided to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. And then I spend an hour and a half working with accounting and trying to call and do these things to collect this debt now that they owe us. That's time I'm not using to focus on my customer, to pivot to different offerings that I could have to figure out their business better. That's a visit that I could have done to a location. There's all this sort of stuff that I could have focused on my core competencies and things that actually create value. And instead, I'm trying to chase down things. And so with verified carrier, we want to say, let us do the heavy lifting. That's a lot of stuff. So we specialize in it. Let us do that. And you guys focus on what you do best, right? Move.
Dude, that's such a great point, dude. That's such a great point. And day by day, I feel less like I'm a logistics solutions provider and more becoming a compliance officer. It's just really shit. I should have gone to law school and done this on the side.
Rob Carpenter, we're coming for your job.
Man's a walking textbook right there.
You're him and Joe. Oh, you're right,
dude.
This fucking Jesus.
Joe's no joke.
Goddamn
Right.
quote CFR freaking FMCSA DOT handbook like their damn Bible verses.
Yeah, 49.365.
Dude,
I get you.
Psalms chapter 15 verse 2 says.
Dude, we need to get him and Leffler in the same room at
Oh,
some point.
bro, that shit would be a disgusting show. Oh my god.
Make it
Write that
happen.
down, Hunter. Write that down. Matt Leffler, Joe Metton. Holy shit, that'll be an awesome show.
We're in betting.
Dude.
But
sorry, Andre, this is us, bro. Live uncut, man. You got your hour. Now everything past the hour, it's just whatever happens.
yeah, Andre, you can hop on too, man. Now that you've been in here, you passed the test.
I appreciate it. You guys, and they're great questions. I'm actually glad you guys, because we like the real questions, right? It's not about being teed up and how great is your company? My company is really great. Oh, great. Thank you for sharing about your company. That's not what it's about. There's real issues. There's real concerns, carriers thinking this or that, or brokers, and how do you do it? And what do you guys do? And, what happens if someone's face isn't recognized? What happens at nighttime? Like, these are awesome questions. And if I don't have an answer, yeah, we're working on it. The team is growing. We're going to face more speed bumps. We have some pretty big conversations coming up, both between government entities, lots of different private organizations. So we're talking about partnering with different people in different capacities. But at the end of the day, it's double brokering, fraud, cargo theft. How do we get rid of this stuff? How do we actually just move freight, lower costs, lower insurance premiums, deliver stuff, help people focus on growing businesses? That's what it's about, right? At the end of the day, it's just people need to make a living. People need to receive goods. We all want to go shopping. We want to see things on the shelves. People who actually do business, move things, pay for stuff should get to keep the money from said work. It's not the craziest concept in the world. The fact that it's not like that, and we're almost desensitized to it, like $800 million double brokering. It's like, oh yeah, okay. No, that's not okay. That's more than GDP of some small countries. Like, that's not okay to get stolen year after year from an industry, and a bunch of real hardworking people getting, I don't use the word shafted, but I think that's probably the most accurate one.
Well, I mean,
that's a good word to use for it.
I appreciate you saying that, man. I wouldn't say we offer bring the hard questions or wwhatever, but with anybody we bring on, it honestly is not for you just to tout yourself and beat your chest. We bring you on because we like what you do and we want you to talk about yourself. But obviously, it is the questions like that. Hey, what do you what happens with this? And that's part of it, because that's the stuff people. Honestly, I think it's a 50-50. They need to 50% know, hey, what is this person? What do they do? What does their company do? What it's about? And the other 50 is, hey, what are the cons of this company? Or I don't want to say cons, but or what are the what ifs? You know what I mean? Like, hey, everything they're saying sounds good, but here, where's their FAQ page, if you will? You know what I mean? So, man. Awesome. Hunter, do you have any closing comments before we, I guess, stop with Andre? Andre, you're more than welcome to stay on. I mean, you ain't got to leave. Hunter and I are probably just going to sit here and shoot the shit for a while. JB,
I haven't opened my email inbox this whole time, so I know. Who knows?
That's a dangerous game, man.
When you see us do this, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I try to give my undivided attention. So.
That's a nice.
I'm going to have to hop off, but yeah, if there's any other questions, do want to field it, because I want to maximize my time here. Really appreciate, having the floor space to be able to share what we're doing. And really cool to hear that there's people want to spread the word about, there's good companies doing good work. We don't want to just focus on the bad guys, but we can't ignore these problems. That's
100%, man.
Absolutely, dude. But yeah, Andre, man, I appreciate you coming on, brother. Love what you guys are doing. Look forward to seeing how it develops and, the advances you guys make in the coming year and years to come. And yeah, dude, keep on rocking in the free world. We'll definitely have you back on, dude.
Well, thank you. Just keep watching LinkedIn. There's some announcements coming. I think there's some good stuff in the works in the pipeline, and would love to come back at some point in time and be able to share about those as well.
Cool, broski.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you, Andre, man.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, brother. Thank you,
brother.
man.
Alrighty.
All right,
Rob, you want to roll some ads so I can go to the bathroom?
Could you shut the fuck up? No, I'm playing.
I'm out of here.
Don't leave out of here. Oh, he's going to the bathroom. Okay, never mind. All right. You know what else you need verified? Them dang freight rates that you're trying to get. Get away from them 3-letter monsters that everybody's out there using for them freight rates. You know who I'm talking about. Go on over to lanerunner.com. Brand new freight rate platform put together by people in the industry, moving rate right now, today. All this data that they have, all the rates, it's updated consistently throughout the day by users on the platform, booking rates, real time. And I want to say to you carriers out there, go ahead, go in there, check out their broker transparency part of their rates. Not only does it tell you the rate of what you should be getting as a carrier, it tells you the rate of what I, as a broker, would get off of that load. I think that's very, very valuable. They got some incredible features, give out some incredible data, but don't take my word for it. Go ahead, run over lanerunner.com, take advantage of that free trial they got going on. And as always, tell them you heard about it in the Logistics Lounge.
Welcome to the future of trucking with Lane Runner. Up to the minute, trustworthy spot market freight rates. Experience real time, full truckload spot market rates at your fingertips. Stay ahead with our advanced rate alert system, ensuring you never miss a market move. Gain insights with our detailed high and low paying lane reports. Make informed decisions with comprehensive market reports tailored for your business needs. Lane Runner, accurate, real-time spot market freight rates at your fingertips. Efficiency, reliability, and profitability all in one platform. Join Lane Runner today and take your logistics to the next level. Spot market, spot on.
Woo, man. You know what else you could do to take yourself to the next level? Go on and use Shoreline Capital for all them factoring needs. Clint, Nick, the rest of their team, they got experience in the banking world. They brought that over to the broker, carrier, manufacturer, financial side of things and said, hey, we want to help you be a profitable business, turn those invoices into paper dollar bills within 24 hours. And you know what? If you don't get it within 23 hours and 59 seconds, Clint Weston's going to give you a cell phone and you can just call and bother him. Yeah,
Hey,
I'm getting a little better at those, bro. It's crazy. The shittiest part of every show that I think we have is when I do the commercials. I'm like, fuck, I'd be a sucky spot. You know, I know what we have to do. We just get Matt Leffler to just like record.
dude, that man has the voice for like any radio station. I mean,
Dude, I meant to do it today, but I haven't yet. I'm going to go to the show last night where he says, this show is sponsored by Medium Dogs. I'm going
dude,
to
medium-sized dogs, I would buy everything from
I'm
them.
going to go and make a reel out of that shit. And I'm going to put it on our channels, dude. Oh, Matt is
Get some
Matt is
t-shirts made of that.
dude, he is such a cool guy, man. He's just just a genuine individual, bro. You know, like, and people like that are far and few between. Hunter, you got anything? Oh, before I get off here, I know he's probably not watching because he's traveling. Hunter, you know that. You just talked to him, but I'm gonna tag him. I'm gonna tag him in this thing. Freaking Carlos and Spill Bully, dude. I don't know. Hey, hope you notice I've been pimping your gear the whole show, dude. And Hunter says if he does not have his by tomorrow, he's gonna come knock on your door. Go ahead,
Yeah,
bro.
hey, let's not forget about the boys at truckparkingclub.com. They're Airbnb truck parking. Y'all use the promo code Lounge365 for a $25 free for your first round of parking.
There you go.
Or something like that. But yeah, truckparkingclub.com.
It's up to $25 off your first parking booking. And the way I assume that works is, like a 1 day parking is like $10. So I assume you probably get $5 off, and then a weekend I think is maybe 30, 40, 50. And so you may get
Evan, Shelley, and Hunter Shearer over there at truckparkingclub.com.
Yeah.
Take care of you. Just didn't know we sent you.
Yep. Go download the app. Hunter just dropped it, truckparkingclub.com. They're on Google and Apple. And Lounge 365. Make sure you go use that code and get yourself a discount there. And dude, I got all of those. I'm gonna get you a Pleat advice. Yeah, dude, you can. I'll take a Pleat advice. Hunter and I both will. You know, dude, all these people sending us out swag. We need to get our shit together and buy some swag and show some of our lounge lizard people some love with some swag too, man. Yeah, we need to work on that, Hunter. We need to work on that this week.
I was going to talk to you about that. Yeah, we need to start reaching out to some folks.
We do
everything lined up.
We do, man. We for real do, man. Get that lined up, and I want to say I'm going to set up like all that new stuff for the logistics lounge to start making it more legitimate and shit, man, so we can start rolling stuff out. But is there anything that you want to say before we chop out this piece?
Well, as always, appreciate everybody watching. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another funky freestyle Friday.
Tomorrow's gonna be good. Man, tomorrow is gonna be so good. We have Nizreen on. Oh, it's gonna be good.
Yep. And who else? We don't
I know
yet,
who else.
but there will be more.
Who else? Anyone watching now? Anyone who watches the show after we're done, if you want to jump on tonight or tomorrow night, Freestyle Friday, let us know. Hunter or I will drop you a link, and we'll bring you on, and you can enjoy hanging out here in the Logistics Lounge.
That's it. But
with that said, as I always say, chunk the deuces. Hunter, roll that beautiful bean footage.